The film begins with kids getting ready for school in Djibouti City. Back then, Djibouti was still a part of the French colonies and wasn't its own country yet. At that time, Jane, a teacher, was one of the early birds, getting to school before everyone else. She was busy setting up her class, excited to teach. As the school bus was stopping for a kid named Bernardo, things took a sudden twist. Soon after, a group of Somali rebels jumped on the bus and took control, scaring everyone on board. Waving a gun around, they ordered the bus driver to head for the Somali border. Thinking about the kids, the driver didn't argue and started driving. Nearby, a man named San saw the chaos. His heart dropped when he noticed his son on the bus. Then he ran after it, trying to get close, but the bus was too fast and he couldn't keep up. As the time went by, Jane was getting really anxious because her students hadn't shown up. Then she stepped out to chat with the teacher next door and found out that 4 of their students were also missing. Meanwhile, the kids on the bus were terrified. One brave boy tried asking if they'd be going to school, but a rebel heard him for speaking up. They made it clear to all the kids to stay quiet and seated or face serious trouble. Suddenly, 2 French army cars appeared in the rearview mirror, chasing the bus. The rebels freaked out and told the driver to hit the gas. They even fired shots at the army cars behind them. Close to the border, the French army had a plan. They put nail mines on the road, which caused the bus to lose control and crash into a boulder. With the situation getting chaotic, the rebels wanted the driver to talk to the border officers to get them out of there. But the clever driver saw his chance and took it to escape. Back in a hospital in France, Captain Andre was there by his daughter's side after her surgery. But then his phone rang with urgent news about a crisis in Djibouti City. Quickly, Andre reached out to Pierre to get their sniper team ready. The team included Lorca, Campier, Pierre, and Lorraine. Andre then met up with a top French military official, Michel, to get the scoop on the situation. There, she filled him in that 21 kids taken hostage, and 3 were from the US. The US was sending some military folks to watch over the operation. At that time, Michel made it clear that Andre and his team needed to fly under the radar to Djibouti, and the press shouldn't get wind of it. She stressed the mission's importance, saying if it flopped, it would be really bad for France. On the flip side, Jane found out her students were in trouble. Worried sick, she raced to where the kids were being held. Then she tried sneaking past some guards to check on her students, but her move was quickly noticed by a rebel named Barkid, who stopped her right in her tracks. In that moment, Jane really wanted to help her students. She told Barkid she was their teacher and that she just wanted to comfort her scared kids. After some thought, Barkid let her on the bus. Meanwhile, Captain Andre landed in Djibouti and quickly met up with Philip, a CIA agent from the US. Philip was there because 3 of the kidnapped kids were Americans, and he was keeping a close eye on Andre's sniper team. The 2 then headed to the French army base in Djibouti. When they got there, they met General Favrat, the big boss of the troops, but he didn't seem to think much of Andre's team. He let them know that 4 rebels, armed to the teeth, were on the bus, and their plan is to make the French giving Djibouti back to Somalia by using the kids as leverage. With this info, Andre and his squad moved closer to the bus to scope things out. At that time, Lorca and Lorraine positioned themselves farther away, ready to back up Andre. On the other hand, Andre was trying to get a good look at the situation when he almost got caught because Jane unexpectedly ran into him. Shortly after, the lights from the Somali rebels turned on. Andre saw it and quickly bolted from there. Luckily, he got away without the rebels spotting him. Back at the base, Andre filled in General Favrat about the flat surroundings and the one spot he found for the snipers to hide. At that time, his idea is 5 snipers to shoot at once, taking out the rebels before they could react. But both General Favrat and Philip weren't too sure about this plan. They tried something similar before, and it didn't go great. Plus, they were worried that if more Somali troops joined in, the kids' lives could be in more danger. Still, Andre was convinced this was their best shot. After some thought, General Favrat agreed to give it a go. With that settled, Andre and his crew got their gear ready for the big rescue. Jane was chatting with Barkid. making it clear she'd do whatever it took to keep her students safe. Meanwhile, Andre and his squad were gearing up to put their plan into action. But just then, Andre's phone rang, and it was Michelle. Michelle told Andre they could only take action if there was just one rebel on the bus. She also wanted General Favrat and Andre to talk things out with the rebels. At that time, Andre and General Favrat tried telling Michelle that there were 4 rebels, and talking wasn't going to work. But Michelle wasn't having any of it. The next day, Andre and his crew set up in their hiding spots. There, Andre divided up the targets, getting everyone set. They were all ready to shoot, so Andre checked in with General Favrat. But the general said Paris still wanted them to try talking first. So, Andre told his team to hold on and wait. They stayed in their spots, under the burning sun, just waiting. After a while, Andre noticed some Somali soldiers showing up at the scene. While all this was happening, Ramani, a border guard officer, climbed onto the bus to give the hungry kids some food. While there, he tried to talk things out with Barkid and hoped to take the injured Bernardo off the bus. But Barkid wasn't having it, and things got heated between them. Then, a scared girl hid behind Ramani. Suddenly, things got even tenser when Barkid pointed his gun at Ramani, telling him to get off the bus. At that moment, Ramani tried to keep things calm, but Barkid shot him. From a distance, Captain Andre saw everything through his binoculars. He was frustrated because he couldn't help. He really didn't want any more people to get hurt. Jane then pleaded with Barkid to let them take Bernardo to the border for medical help. Maybe it was Jane's genuine concern or her beauty, but Barkid finally agreed to let Andre help Bernardo at the border. Soon after, Jane overheard the rebels chatting about moving the kids by bus to Somalia that night. Meanwhile, Andre was back at HQ, trying to get General Favrat to make a move. But the general wouldn't budge, still sticking to Michelle's orders from Paris. Then, Andre tried another approach. He asked Philip to join his team, and luckily, Philip was on board. While they were talking, Jane showed up with an injured Bernardo. She told Andre the rebels were tired and about their plan to move the kids that night. After listening, Andre shared his plan with Jane, but Jane worried about how scared the kids would be if fighting started. She thought it might be best to put them to sleep with some anesthesia. Without wasting time, Andre told Lorca to mix anesthesia with water. Soon after, Jane took this water back to the bus for the kids to drink. Just then, a bus from Somalia pulled up. Andre tried one more time to convince General Favrat to act, but no luck because the French still said no to shooting. Frustrated, Andre talked with his team about what to do next. So, Andre gave his team a tough choice that either head home and let the rebels take the kids to Somalia, or try to save them but take on some big risks. At that moment, the sniper team was brave and decided to save the children, even if it meant going against the orders from General Favrat and their country. Seeing this decision, Andre felt a mix of pride and happiness. He told his team to get ready to shoot. When they fired, Barkid and the other rebels on the bus didn't stand a chance. But the shots alerted nearby Somali troops, who started searching everywhere, but they were clueless about what just happened and where the snipers were. Meanwhile, Jane thought it was safe and started waking up the kids to get them out of there. But then, one of the Somali soldiers approached the bus and aimed his gun at Jane. Just in the nick of time, Lorraine took a shot and saved Jane. However, this gave away the sniper team's location. The Somali rebels went all out against Andre and his crew, and things got really tough for them. Soon after, Andre told Lorraine, who was in a better spot, to fire back at the Somali rebels who were all armed up. Even though Andre's team knew they were up against more people, they kept fighting with all they had. As the battle heated up, they managed to take down the rebels one by one. There, Lorca saw a chance and went for the bus to get the kids out. Seeing this, Andre quickly told Pierre and Campier to go help Lorca while he covered them from the back. Meanwhile, Lorraine pulled off a great shot and took out the leader of the Somali rebels, which made the others back off. At the same time, Philip drove up in a truck to help get the kids out, but he got hit. Andre, seeing this, took a quick shot to keep Philip safe. Then, as soon as things calmed down, they got all the kids to safety. Everyone was breathing a sigh of relief cause they'd managed to save the children and stand up to the rebels. However, on the bus, Camper noticed one kid wasn't doing so well and quickly stepped in to help. When they got back to base, those French soldiers who used to doubt Andre and his squad were now showing them respect. Even General Favrat was pretty impressed with how they handled everything. Later, all the children were reunited with their families. At that time, Jane took a moment to show her gratitude to Andre and his crew. And interestingly, a year after all this went down, Djibouti became its own independent nation. The film ends. The moral lesson from this film is if you're a sniper team and your country's military leadership won't let you shoot the bad guys, just go ahead and do it anyway, because it'll all work out in the end and you'll be hailed as heroes.